How many of you have used this term at work when you're describing someone's personality, their attitude? You ever use that term? So-and-so has a bad attitude. I know you've never said that, but have you ever heard that said about someone? Yourself, maybe? People have said that about me. You got a bad attitude. What's that mean? Usually it means you don't like me. You tell me you got a bad attitude. Usually what you're doing is, there's usually a finger involved. You got a bad attitude. And then usually what comes after that is, and you need to change that attitude. And then usually what follows that, either implicitly or explicitly, is, or else. Right? That's usually, yeah, that's usually how those conversations go. So, but attitudes are critical. When I was talking to you about why people would draw, they would draw satisfaction and commitment. Those are attitudes. People are not satisfied with the job. They're not committed to the organization. That's an attitude, okay? Now, what you're saying is, how am I going to change your attitude? That's really the task at hand. Or if you've reached some other conclusion that there may be some structural things involved, how can I change the structural things involved to get a different behavior from you? That's the critical decision. So you need to know about your people that their inner work life is critical. The things that they perceive and how they feel about the things they perceive that have happened in the workplace is absolutely fundamentally critical. People do better work when they're happy, have positive views of the organization, and people are primarily motivated by the work itself. So again, this is what we want, right? We want performance. And performance, to be an effective individual at work, you got to do your job well. You got to be able to perform your task. You have to show up. You can't be withdrawing. You got to be there on time. You can't be tardy or calling in sick. And you have to be a good citizen, which we'll talk about in the last segment. You got to be civil and helpful to other people. That's a big umbrella of performance. That is the behavior that we want. So you believe that, right? People need to be motivated to perform? Absolutely. What are the components of motivation? This desire to do the work. I have to know what to do. Expectations, right? Talked about expectations in the previous session. I got to know what to do. I got to know how to do it. Ability. Move people up the performance ladder. I got to know how to do it. I got to know when to do it. All of those things are things that as supervisors and we can understand how to coach that, right? Well, I don't know about you, but that's the sticky part for me. That's the sticky part for me when I'm dealing with people and motivation. How do I get you to decide to do it? That's the tough part, whether or not they're going to put forth effort. So perceptions and emotions work together. They inform each other. People have these, right? People have beliefs about you, the organization, your team. They have beliefs and they have feelings about those beliefs. You would be remiss in neglecting that. It is critical what they think, and it is critical what they believe, because that drives their motivation. Now, here's the good news. You can change what they think and believe, and you can change how they feel about that. Even seemingly small, mundane events, people react to. And as I'm going to tell you a little bit later, especially these setbacks. Setbacks are really critical. And so, to create a positive workplace, which we want to do, to create a positive workplace, as much as anything, oftentimes it's about eliminating the minor setbacks as much as it is, creating the positive things to move forward. We've said it's important to be a purposeful actor, to understand why what you do is important. And you shouldn't miss the fact that one of the most important things about our job as supervisors is to daily help people understand that they're making progress. You're getting there. Change is a process. It's not an event. In most large-scale change, it doesn't happen with one tumultuous sweep. It's little, tiny steps over time that ultimately result in something significantly new and different.